Hey guys, we're going to be breaking down Vanderpump Rules Season 5, Episode 18, titled Regrets Only, but we have no regrets because the one and only Tom Sandoval is here joining us. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Dance party again.
Just going to let this roll. It's touching my We were all singing this a lot before you got here, Tom.
Wait, what?
We were all singing this before you got here. It's so catchy. It's all in our head.
I didn't watch the episode. I was just dancing the whole time.
Yeah.
That's false, but we'll take it. Let's get it going, guys. Hey, I'm your host, Megan Stecher, and I'm joined by the usuals.
Hey guys, Jesse DAngelo here. You can find me everywhere at Jesse J. DAngelo.
Hey guys, it's Jay Ellis. I don't know why you're not going.
What is going on tonight?
I don't know, I think I'm used to the Days
okay.
of Our Lives where they start on the far left.
Well, I thought too, we were looking at me.
All right.
Well, we already screwed it up from the top. Here we go.
Don't be jealous on Instagram at still_jealous on Twitter.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Matthew E. Payne.
And Tom Sandoval's here joining us.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Where can they chat with you? On Twitter and all that good stuff.
Tom Sandoval 1 on Twitter and Instagram.
Excellent.
And Snapchat.
There you go.
I always forget about Snapchat though.
Do you Snapchat a lot?
Not really.
It's kind of fallen to the wayside now, I feel like.
Maybe. I don't know. Some people do it a lot. Scheana posts a selfie every like 10 minutes.
As we saw.
We saw on the
we saw
beach, yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Were you with everyone this weekend at the iHeartRadio?
I wasn't actually.
No, okay.
I had some other stuff going on, but I heard it was fun.
I just saw some snaps of everybody catching the show.
I think Scheana was there with her sister, and then Kristen, Katie, Stassi, and Brittany were there.
Okay.
And Jax is in New York. He's doing Watch What Happens Live tonight.
He is.
I know, I'm excited to watch that. Him in Summer House. Summer House
The
boys.
Summer House guys, yeah. Which we're not watching, but we've heard it's
I
fun.
haven't watched that.
Are you watching Summer House?
I have only seen like one episode. It's hard for me to watch reality TV.
Oh, that's ironic.
Knowing how the sausage is made, you mean? It's like hard to watch reality?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why. I've never really watched reality TV. I watched that show Sons of Guns because, they're like making guns and stuff.
Yeah.
But
A different type of
pretty much
reality.
it, yeah.
You're just starring in reality TV.
And do you
Yeah.
know like a lot of the Bravo celebrities, I guess? Like because of...
Yeah, I've met a lot of them at like parties, especially like upfronts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are pretty cool, like at least in person. It's funny though, I'll meet somebody and they'll be like, oh, she's a bitch. And I'll be like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's crazy. I'll be like, oh, okay.
I deal with crazy well. I try to be on the Vanderpump Rules cast and tell me about it.
Speaking of parties, what party was everyone at last week that Lala was there too, and then took a picture with Stassi and Kristen and Katie?
I think that was the OK Magazine party.
Oh, okay.
It might have been the Grammy one you're thinking of.
Okay. We were just like, oh, is everyone getting along now behind the scenes, or is this like the photographer caught them all standing near each other and it was like an obligation to take a photo?
Well, it was who was it? Lala
and then
And
Katie
Scheana.
was the person next to her, and then I think it was also Kristen and Stassi in the picture.
That might have been our reunion actually.
Okay, because Sir, like the Twitter for Sir is the one that posted it, I believe, and that's the one that I saw, and I thought maybe it was a post reunion because that happened 2 weekends ago. So I think it might have been from that too.
I thought it was the Vanderpump Dogs.
Oh yeah,
That's what it was.
That's
it was
what
the
it
Vanderpump
was.
Dogs.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
Good.
So yeah, they were all there.
Nancy Drew on the
See, I
cave.
pay attention.
Right.
A lot of events.
Do
I'd
you
rather
think?
speculate.
Do you think it was like an obligation photo because the photographer was like, "Oh,
Well,
we
yeah,
gotta get together."
they'll be like, oh, come on, everybody get together and take a picture, and yeah, so.
If you
it
hate each other,
happens.
just get
Yeah.
right in and we'll snap a quick one.
Yeah, sort of,
Some people
Everybody hold their breath.
begrudgingly.
All right, so things are still not really great with Lala and them.
It just depends. I mean, you're just gonna have to wait and see and find out.
Damn.
Okay, gotta wait for the reunion.
Tom's so good with this stuff, you guys.
That was good. That was good.
Dude.
Let's try to break down the episode a little, and then anybody who has any questions for Tom, just blurt them out, whatever, interrupt.
I'm in the chat room.
Definitely.
Oh
So
yeah.
ask away.
And then people in the chat send in questions. And thanks to the person that tweeted us asking how to join in on the chat. That's great. So hopefully she's there.
Yeah, she took us on a road trip through Arizona, she said. So fun.
Oh, cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alrighty. So kicking off the episode, Lisa's super sad to hear that Tom and Katie were fighting on the trip.
Yeah, she was pretty upset about that. They had definitely been, arguing a lot up to that point. I think they were just, I don't know if it was just stress or what, but, that's one of the reasons why I suggested when we were on that trip that they should go see, like, professional, like, counselor, which is a very common thing that people do when they get married, or before they get married. You have somebody who's objective, who can ask the questions without, being biased in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
On last week's episode, you were sincerely emotional about the way that Schwartz has been mistreated by Katie. Was it alcohol-related tears, or were you genuinely feeling for your best friend?
Well, I mean, of course, alcohol can affect your emotions in certain ways, but I definitely it was really frustrating for me because throughout the entire summer, Katie and Schwartz are like getting into these arguments, getting in these fights, and then like we're all having to kind of like deal with it and getting some of the backlash. But on top of that, it's like all people were doing is just going up to Schwartz saying like, I remember Scheana pulling him aside at his house, like, you just need to go up to Katie and like give her a hug and tell her you love her, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Everybody kept saying that to Schwartz, and it was pissing me off because it's like nobody was saying a word to Katie. And to me, that's not fair. And I don't know if it's that they were afraid of her. I mean, I know, maybe some of them were, but I don't know. It was annoying a little bit because I felt like Katie kind of threw some of the, obviously with the wedding and everything, it's stressful and stuff, but I felt like at times Katie did like kind of use a little bit of like the wedding to kind of like, well, maybe she kind of like threw little like threats in there, like maybe you shouldn't be involved in this, or like, if Ariana isn't like, fully on board with like being friends with Stassi, that maybe she shouldn't come to the wedding and all this stuff. It's like, it was a little annoying at times. So yeah, I felt frustrated because I felt like it was always on Schwartz every time they got into a fight. Schwartz needs to do this, Schwartz needs to do that, when really, it's both of them.
Yeah, so you want to make sure his side was understood as well.
Yeah, and he was just constantly, it sucks to like get into a fight with the person you love, and then to have to deal with your friends all coming up to you, and just like badgering you about what you need to do and giving you shit. It's just like,
Well, thank you for giving me my favorite moment of this season is you back kicking the door. The donkey kicks her.
I was going to say.
That was definitely alcohol related. I mean, that was...
It was great.
I lived for it. It was
We
great.
thought you definitely...
I want to open every door like that from now on.
I know. Well, you had the best drag transformation, hands down.
Oh, thank you.
We ran a Twitter poll,
loved
and
it.
you were the fan favorite.
Nice.
By
Yes.
far.
I love that. I always go all out. Like, if you check out my Halloween costumes, anything, like, I go for it.
I will say Ariana had my vote though because she was
Oh,
awesome.
yes.
dude.
No, he
She
was like, no.
committed. Yeah.
Ariana killed it, he
Yeah.
said.
I loved her.
He was like, no, Ariana won.
Her
in
little,
my
like,
eyes.
dances
Yeah,
and shit.
I love it.
What was
She
her
changed
name?
her voice.
Jordan something?
Jordan Tyler.
Yes. Jordan
Came up with it.
It was
so good.
perfect. I was wondering, has it been brutal on social media in the past week when you were the battered wife moment with the kick and you were in half drag, like the wig was off but the makeup was on?
Not
Did you
really.
take- no?
Not really, no. I mean, I think most people thought it was really hilarious.
Yeah. That's a great GIF too, I think. Or
Yeah.
GIF. How is it GIF or GIF? It's gonna be a good
Jif.
one.
I
I'm
think
gonna
Jif
use
is
it.
peanut butter.
Same.
Okay.
But the guy, this is so off
I
topic,
know.
but the guy who created it just came out and said it's Jif.
I don't
Oh,
care.
that's
Really?
obnoxious. That's
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Still don't buy it though.
I don't
Oh,
either.
wow.
But you don't say give me a gift for my birthday.
No.
It's
Well,
gift.
because it's graphic, so gift.
Yeah.
You know.
I know we're talking about last week's episode, but it was how long were you guys in New Orleans for? It seemed like a long span of time.
We were there for 3 nights. I
Wow,
believe.
a lot happened. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was... In that trip, I mean, we've taken tons of trips, obviously, on the show, and I think that was definitely one of the more or most eventful ones.
Well, 3 episodes was dedicated to it. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was like a week, but
Yeah.
We were there for 3 nights.
wow, you
I
guys
love
crammed
a
a
group
lot.
trip on Bravo. It's like you just add a bottle of alcohol, stir. It's like you got 3 episodes.
Have fun.
Dude, yeah.
I thought it was funny. I just wanted to point out. I think it's so funny that Kristen got a emotional support dog certification for her dog. I feel like that's so her.
That's
Yeah.
It's so LA.
every LA person has a
Oh,
emotional
yes.
something. Yeah.
Oh
$79,
yes.
that's all you need. $79 in a phone call and he's a proud owner.
And you're legally actually not allowed to ask people to prove the dog certification. So if anybody comes in with any sort of support animal,
Really?
you're not allowed to be like, show me the tag or show me your certificate. Yeah.
I didn't know
Some
that.
sort of crazy loophole.
Yeah.
Well, it's so liberal out here, you know.
Tom, Mike Bowman wants to know if you got offended when Carter called you Sia last week.
I think it was more the timing of it. I mean, dude, Sia is awesome. I've actually met Sia before. I went and watched SNL, taping at SNL, and she
Yeah.
was the guest. And I mean, first of all, she was amazing, and she came up to me, and I was like, she's like, oh, and here we have Tom. She was like leaving. It was the after party. She's like leaving, and she's like, oh, and here we have Tom Sandoval, and she's like, tell Ariana I absolutely love her and all this stuff. I'm like, you're fucking Sia. I'm like,
So many
what?
people watch the show.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, like a lot of the SNL cast, they watch the show.
Oh my God.
They've been
Yeah,
on.
Bobby Moynihan's a big fan.
Yeah.
Cecily, Vanessa Bayer.
They say on Watch What Happens Live, like they come on and they
Oh, yeah.
reenact like Vanderpump moments, and it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
because they're so into Bravo, like
Have
everything.
they ever
Yeah.
done a skit about you guys? Has SNL
They've
ever used?
tried. They have one they were working on called like Fuck Shack or something. It's like,
Amazing.
but I think they should. They should do one. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you have to convince, Lauren Michaels. So
Yeah,
I think you just need to show him last week's episode, and he'd be like, "Whoa,
the material writes itself.
we will weekly be featuring Vanderpump Rules."
Yeah,
again."
it would be great.
yeah, I've seen it in like Family Guy or American Dad. They've talked about it on like, At Midnight, Talk Soup. It's crazy.
Yeah, it has
That's
a huge
gotta be
audience.
cool.
Any other big surprises, like celebrity fans of the show that you were like, really?
Apparently Bruno Mars
Stop.
is a
Love
fan
that.
of our show.
That's awesome.
What's up, Bruno? That's
I know,
pretty cool.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I know. I think Bruno Mars is like awesome, and he, a friend of his does like a friend of ours works for him on like some of his music videos and stuff like that, and he was asking questions about our show.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh my God.
And
What-
John Legend and Chrissy Teigen are obsessed.
Yeah.
I was
with
gonna
it.
Yeah.
say that
People
has to
love
be the
that.
biggest compliment.
Yeah, those guys are really cool, really sweet people.
Yeah.
Have you had a favorite season so far?
I would say this one is definitely like my favorite. I like this one a lot. I liked season 1. I liked this one. I liked the last one. Season 3 I wasn't as big of a fan of, but I don't know. They've all like season 2 was obviously really good. They've all kind of been different.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been like season 1 was just very like, it was all about Jax and Stassi, their breakup, all that stuff, and then season 2 was like I went on this journey of trying to fix, my relationship with Kristen, and then all this stuff came out, and I found out about her and Jax, and then I ended up like, beating up Jax at the end. They had to cut a lot of that out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Got
Can we ever
violent.
get the raw
When people ask us, it's so funny. People are like, I've worked on The Apprentice, so I mean I know how scripted these shows are, and I'm like, yeah, well that's not our fucking show. You know what I mean? Like people think because some reality shows are like scripted or put on or like what contrived, that ours is, and it's like, dude, no, we are not a casted, bunch of people. We all have known each other for so long, and that's I feel like one of the reasons why our show has done so well is because of how, how much we like love each other / hate each other at times, and all the things that kind of come along with that.
That moment when you found out on camera about Jax and Kristen, you had a look on your face like you had to do this on camera?
Well, I actually found out, Kristen, like, it was really annoying, but she handed me her phone of a text conversation of her telling her friend back in Michigan, like, that it was true, and then went in and locked herself in the bathroom, and it was like a pain in the ass. It sucked, obviously, to know. I kind of like was getting to the point where I believed that it was true, because I was like, when I was first told at Beso that shit happened, I was like, this is not real. I literally thought
That's
it was
what I'm
like
talking
fake.
about. Yeah.
I thought it was fake. I was literally like, you guys, yeah, right.
What are y'all trying to do?
I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, I was in disbelief. We left. I like fucking rolled out of there. They tried to put a camera in the cab. I was like, I can't deal with this. This is insane. It was the weirdest, most awkward thing. You walk into the base, so it's like all lit up. There's like people there I don't even know. They're like friends of Scheana, like, and it's like all quiet. There's no music playing. It's just like everybody's kind of waiting for us to show up, and so it was like a surprise party, but like a surprise I fucked your girlfriend party.
It's like walking into
The worst surprise.
It was
party ever.
yeah, that's
terrible.
that. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. Like an ambush almost.
Yeah, and I was like, I had like cotton mouth, and I'm like at the bar, and I'm like, can I please have a beer, something?
Yeah.
Fucking give me some water. And the girl's like, yeah, hold on, just a second, I gotta
I'll hop back there.
I'm
and
like,
get
give
it.
me the fucking Heineken. And I'm like, fuck. It was crazy.
Does this season feel like your favorite maybe because you're in the best place you've been as far
yeah,
as...
it feels really good. You know, obviously with being with Kristen, our relationship was not nearly as toxic as hers and James. Don't get me wrong. Like theirs was like the worst like coupling. You know what I mean? But it was tough. Being on a show and feeling like the person you're with is almost like an antagonist versus like having somebody that you love and who respects you, who you respect. It felt, it's been a lot easier with Ariana, obviously. Just like I'm sure with Kristen and Carter,
Tabitha in the chat room wants to know how you stay so grounded during so much drama exploding around you.
I try. I've always been very much, tried to believe in what's right. I try not to like unconditionally have anybody's back. If Schwartz does something stupid, I'll like get on him about it and call him out. And same thing with anybody else. You know what I mean? I don't like just blindly like no matter what have somebody's back. And I feel like that, I don't. To me, integrity is really important. So other people, it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean,
When you swooped in at James's like DJing premiere and Gigi came and that was another ambush where Carter and Kristen were up on the stands and you were calling it as it is. That was another moment where I was like, and I've said it on here, like Tom is just calling it like it is and you're not taking sides and you can tell. And I imagine in that moment it's just like you're so mad at your friends because you're like, you guys are setting him up for a disaster, so it's probably hard to not get caught up with it and choose sides, but I felt like you were very fair in that instance.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be an asshole, like even if you're my friend, you're still being an asshole. And yeah, I thought that was really messed up. And I know like Jax tried to put it on me that like I invited him, wanted him to go there. I'm like, dude, I never did. And he told me he was gonna go, and I was like, and I understand, like I'm not gonna. I know James wish he would have given me the heads up, but like that's kind of one of those things we really don't want to do, because it's like then like everything unfolds off camera.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's less texting that goes on while our show is filming. You know what I mean?
Like save it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Lala was open by saying that they tell you guys wait until you're in person, like try not to talk about it. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Try not to, because what happens is it's like, just a bad example would be like if, somebody broke up on the show and they're like, the first time, the last time you saw them, I don't know, or if like me and Schwartz were like best buds last time you saw us and then next time we're like not speaking, it's like, well, what happened? And then it's like we have to like kind of talk about.
And show the text. Like,
Yeah,
we always
it's
get
like-
that text receipt. I love it.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't friends anymore. Can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you all the most forgiving bunch of individuals on? I don't know if it's because it's on TV, but I know that Stassi forgave Kristen for whatever happened with Jax. You forgave Jax for sleeping with Kristen. You're friends with James, who dated Kristen when you were really good friends. How do you find it in your heart, I guess, to forgive each other over some pretty serious shit?
Well, to me, I mean, obviously nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes as well. And I think that, when people take accountability for their actions, it really is a huge step, So when that happens, and James and Jax are actually very similar. They're very much alike. They're just 10 years apart. But, I think that sometimes, people do things, out of impulse. And obviously, whatever went down with Jax and Kristen, I know it wasn't something that was happening it was late at night after drinks, and I definitely blame Kristen more for that, because I know she instigated it a few times. Anyways, but besides that, it's just, it takes a lot of energy to hang on to, being mad and at somebody, and obviously too with, as soon as all that stuff happened, it's me and Jax are getting asked to do appearances together. We're working at SUR together, and it's they had to keep us separate for a while, and it's if one person's at the lounge bar and the lounge bar makes more money than the restaurant bar, and it's more fun, in my opinion. So, if we're both working Fridays and Saturdays, it's one of them's got to be in the lounge, one of them's got to be in the restaurant. It's it was just causing problems, and, we squashed it, and then as time went on, it got better and better, and, Jax he really does value me and Schwartz's friendship a lot, even if he does shit on it sometimes.
Well, because there was that episode when he was at the beach and he started crying, he got a little emotional when he was talking about how he doesn't really have family, so you guys out here for him are, who he's close to, so you can tell.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Jax for many, many, many years, and he was a habitual, bridge burner with friends. But he's gotten a lot better.
We've seen a trend.
Yeah.
He's calmed down a lot, I think.
Yeah. Brittany seems to be a very good influence on him.
Definitely his healthiest relationship he's been in, for sure.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Speaking of relationships, Lisa and Ariana had a cute little talk. So Katie and Tom had brought a butler over to Lisa's and said, "Will you marry us?"
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's like, "Actually, no. Let's have a
I
chat."
know, that was crazy.
And then everybody talked about it at the beach. They had to relay to you guys that Lisa turned us down. And they kind of had their moment in talking about their problems. And then Ariana goes back to Lisa and she's like, "They told us you said no. What's up with that?" But then she turned it on Ariana and was like, "Well, what about you and Tom? What about you two kids getting married?"
Yeah.
What did you think of her response of kind of I don't really want to, and they don't want to have kids?
I mean, if you would have asked me, how I feel about that stuff even 3 years ago, I would have had a completely different view. So I just think that as people, get older and evolve, get, experience more in life, their points of view on things change.
Mm-hmm. So are you thinking maybe you're going to stick it out with Ariana, and if she does want to have kids, great. If she doesn't, it's not like a deal breaker?
I mean, I don't know. It's not like I'm ready to have kids right now, so I think I'll handle that more as I get closer to that moment. But
right.
It's not that it's completely out of the question. It's just we're kind of trying to figure out if maybe I can be pregnant instead, in a way to make that work.
I'm on Ariana's train with everything.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't need to be married. I'm a modern woman. Let's just buy a house.
I'm not really that. You know what it is that I've never really been with somebody that I have these feelings for, especially after we've been together for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Usually the relationship after that time, you start getting more annoyed with each other, but we are not we have a great relationship. We love each other so much, and we're so in love still, and it's hard for me to even understand how to express these feelings that I have. So that's why sometimes I do talk about marriage. But it's like, then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, but do I actually want to get married? Like, is it really that important? But I don't know. It's just weird.
So nothing's a deal breaker right now. Good to know.
No,
Okay.
no, nothing.
When she simply said babies are gross, I was like, queen. Like, I agree. I can't handle all of the mess that comes with a baby. So
Agreed.
I'm with
Don't
her.
have baby fever. Well, at least it was hilarious tonight. Was saying like, oh, but what if she wants to have a baby and put little extensions in her baby Schwartzie's hair?
Just shave her baby's forehead.
But she probably already does that. Yeah, Lisa was on one tonight.
Yeah.
She was
She's
funny
been,
tonight.
She's been really good this season for sure.
I have a question, but it's a little, I guess not about the episode. Were you shocked to hear that your name was kind of dropped as possibly a potential leader on their next like venture out into another restaurant?
Yeah.
Or was that news to you? Or like, was that the first time you heard that, or have you been in talks about this?
Well, you'll see, in future episodes what happens with that. But yes, I was, and extremely honored, for me to be considered in something like that with Ken and Lisa. I mean, they're obviously extremely successful. I look up to both of them. I love them both very much, and for them to say that, I was just blown away.
They've got Santa Monica and Robertson on lock. Like, that is their little nook of West Hollywood.
I think it's so great for fans because you can go to all 3 locations. And where's the Vanderpump Dogs? Is that in walking distance?
Vanderpump Dogs is it's a bit of a walk. Definitely wouldn't recommend it in heels. It's
Have you tried that?
Oh, I'm not going then.
Or it's
He was back in Sia and going
it's
out.
an easy lift ride, shall we say?
yeah, it's basically in West Hollywood, but it's at like 3rd and like
Oh,
3rd between like Crescent Heights and La Cienega
That's a
versus
walk.
Santa Monica. Yeah.
take a
So
car
it's-
service, folks.
Yeah.
Next time, give everyone your lift code.
Yeah.
So is Vanderpump Dogs, it's kind of just like a go in here, play with the dog, and adopt it? Is that it? It's an
They do
adoption
have
center?
dogs. They have, different. I think they have a dog sitter. They have dog sitters there as
Oh,
well,
okay.
so you can drop your dog off. I think they have
Oh.
grooming. They have like everything.
Okay.
Dog related.
Full service.
Yes.
Full service. I just wanted to visit Kristen's ABCs of dating. I was confused. Okay, so Stassi and Kristen are having a great scene where she's trying to help Stassi get ready for a date, which of course included a drink to like calm the nerves. And then Kristen's like, wait, ABCs. You need to have Adderall, A, Adderall, B, your plan B, and C, condoms. I think if C works out, maybe you don't need B.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, A, why do you need Adderall for a date? I don't take Adderall, so I don't really get why people, like, recreationally, what would it be for a first date? I don't know.
know what. I don't get that either.
I don't get the correlation between recreationally using it and a first date either. I can see if she was just like, oh, you're going out, do you have your ABCs?
Maybe it mixes well with a cocktail.
And well, Stassi has talked in an interview, I forget with what outlet, in the past, saying like Adderall made her feel nuts. She was taking it recreationally to stay skinny, but it made her feel insane, so she doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now she talks about not liking it. Why is Kristen kind of pushing it, saying, oh, you need that for your first date? Like, I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't. Maybe that's Kristen's thing. I don't know.
I'm like, was that a checklist back in the day? For you guys? Was that
I
a
don't
date?
know. I don't remember that.
It's like
but
date night, pop my Adderall, get that condom.
Now,
Keys,
I
wallet,
think.
ABCs?
Do you guys go on dates?
I've been with the same person for 8 years, so
Okay, so no.
been a long time, not
Alright.
recently.
I'm dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like dates. I think
They're
they're
the worst.
the weirdest thing ever. It's like an awkward job interview for like sex.
Yeah.
or
The first
something. Like,
first
Yeah.
one's for sure. Yeah.
It's so weird, and it's so you're not. I don't feel like you're really gonna get to know the person on a date. I mean, you're gonna ask the same question. So, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Where do you work? Blah blah blah. It's like this whole like job interview,
Right.
and I think it's weird. I think what's way better is that like I mean I haven't been on a date in so long, but I would never. I don't like. I stopped going on dates many like 10 years ago at least, and the reason why is because it was awkward and it never worked out because you would never. It just was really stuffy, and that's exactly what Stassi's date looked like. It was like even you're not really gonna get to know this guy because you're just asking each other questions. I think it's better if like meet at a bar with like whoever it is and like a friend of theirs, and then with you and your friend, and then you can see what they're really like. You definitely should get them drunk a little bit, so you can see how they handle alcohol, how they treat their friends tells a lot about somebody. Like, do they belittle their friends? Are they like kissing their friends' ass? Like, do they let people walk all over them? Like, plus it's harder for them to, you know, contrive like a character or like to act a certain way when their friend is around them. You know, the walls are kind of down a little bit. Yeah. So
I will say that I checked all of Stassi's potential mate things, but I am gay, so that's not going to work out. But I love brunch. I like dogs and aliens. I'm all for. So
I think
I would
you
have checked
have
everything.
done the basic checklist, and you are basic.
I'm a basic.
I'm calling it.
Like, are you murdery at all? Because that's a requirement.
A little murdery. I know, but
Do
I'm not a manslaughterer.
you believe in aliens, and are you murdery?
And I would never have all my wine because I don't really drink.
Because you could be Stassi's new best friend.
One party I drank and it was too much, and now I'm done.
Now, for the past, I don't know, season and a half, you and Kristen seem to have been getting along civilly up until last week's episode. How did that drama unfold?
Well, I mean, I've really tried to, you know, obviously it takes time to get over things, and so, you know, I just wanted to keep my distance from Kristen until like I felt comfortable being around her, because there was a period of time where I like did not feel comfortable around her, like, and obviously Ariana didn't either. So, but I mean, I thought Kristen just handled that whole situation in New Orleans like extremely bad. I think it was in horrible poor taste. Even though I got shit about saying that they should go to counseling, it's funny because I'm not like creating a problem, I'm actually creating a solution. And, you know, and what I'm saying is stop getting advice from all of us and maybe get advice from a professional who's, you know, had like thousands of hours of clinical work, and, you know, like my brother's a psychologist. So, I mean, I don't pretend to be even anywhere near his level of, you know, intellect when it comes to the human psyche and you know, getting to the root of problems. And the funny thing is I was actually right. There was something, you know, when you get a text message saying you're the sole reason why me and my husband fight, like, you are. It's a fucking red flag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay. Well, obviously there's something deeper going on here, and I was right, and it was brought up the next day, but the way Kristen handled that was ridiculous. On their, you know, bachelorette party, like, to bring up like these cheating allegations and to say I know for a fact, and like Carmen was there and all this stuff, like, it's not even true. You know, it really pissed me off because Carmen actually wasn't there. She broke her arm and had to go to the hospital. Jax had to take her to the hospital. So no, they weren't there. I was there. Me and Ariana were there, and that shit definitely didn't happen. So.
Wow. So Jax lied right to Brittany's face last week when he was like, "Oh
Schwartz came in and was like, I did something bad." But dude, Schwartz couldn't even stand up.
Okay.
He could not stand up. He was leaning against the wall, and he was like he left his phone. He was like probably the most drunk I've ever seen him. And we had to help him home. Like, dude, no, he was not. No. He
couldn't function to do anything.
Yeah. Dude, no.
That one thing was not functioning.
No way.
It seems, with the argument last week when everyone was getting on the elevator, I think you and Schwartz were getting on the elevator and Carter got on, and it's where the explosion kind of took place.
I felt bad that I kind of like talked about the past, but I think obviously we were drunk, we were both heated, and my whole goal was to get them away from him. That's what I kept saying. I was like, that's why I was there. I was like, guys, get away. Like, you've done enough damage. Like, maybe, you know, go take a walk or something. We'll go this way, you go that way. And they just kept on keeping on, you know, and that it bothered me. I'm like, you know, you obviously created a shitstorm here. Like, at least have the decency to, you know, recognize that, and maybe that you should like back off. And so, you know, obviously Schwartz kind of instigated a little bit of the past getting brought up, and I felt bad about that, and I apologized to Kristen the next day, which was a really awkward conversation.
You guys love an alley.
Dude, I was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. she took like a shitload of Adderall or something. I don't know what the deal was, but she was just like making weird love. I don't know, whatever. And then obviously she was like telling me about other dudes that she's slept with while we were together. So that was.
She's singing you the ABCs.
Oh wait, it was a revelation as far as like you didn't realize how many people.
Names were left out.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Yeah.
So much went down in New Orleans. I'm still getting over it a week later.
Yeah.
In tonight's tanning scene, I really, really love that. How like it was like you guys didn't even go there. You had the spray tan come to you.
Yeah.
It's at that level.
Dude, I mean, you can have people wash your clothes for you.
Yes.
And like, I mean, it's crazy.
I love the future. I always say that. There's an app for everything.
Yeah.
What was Jax's real reason for not wanting to get? Did he not want to like strip down on camera the way everyone else was
Probably
down in their
not.
underwear?
Probably not.
I nailed it. Knew it.
Yeah. I appreciate that you have a guy for everything. A braid guy, a tanning person.
Yes.
It's just like the list, your Rolodex is like, oh, I have somebody for that.
I do, actually. I have a guy that comes over because I break my iPhone all the time. I crack my screen.
Yeah.
I screw up my buttons. He comes over and like fixes it all. Like,
To the house?
yeah.
You never have to leave the house.
It's an app, or you just know this? You
No,
have
I
the
know
number.
this guy.
Oh my god, that's
Cinderella.
amazing.
Speaking of your,
I've been at a bar before and I've dropped my phone and I've been leaving the next day to like go to New York, and he's come to the bar while I've been there and fixed it.
wow,
I'm gonna need his number
he's
after
awesome.
the show.
he's loyal.
I'll give you his number.
Oh my god, perfect.
Yeah.
Hello.
Your guys' place is not working when you have a hairdryer and a microwave going. Like, what's going on?
Well, the building is really old,
Okay.
hence why we have rent control.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it sucks that you do have to like, you can't have the air conditioner and the microwave on at the same time. I mean, for years and years when I lived there was only 2-prong plugs.
Okay.
So
my
like,
God.
I had to have an adapter on everything. But they changed that out. I was gonna move out, but what I found was like, because I've been in that place for over 10 years.
Wow.
So like my rent is like $1,000 cheaper
Whatever
probably
wishes they
than.
had. Yeah.
Yeah. If
Then
walls could,
Never leave.
Walls could talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place has been through a lot.
But you said that you're saving up for, you and Ariana are saving potentially up
Yeah.
for a house. Okay.
Yeah.
Smart.
I'm just wondering, like, when you guys are both getting ready to go out somewhere, is it like we're getting ready in stages so we don't blow the lights?
No, you can do a blow dryer. It's because the microwave and the air conditioner are on the same like fuse, so that one blows. But the hair dryer is usually fine. I used to use 2 hair dryers
Double duty.
No doubt.
because my hair was so thick and long, and it took forever to dry that I would use 2 blow dryers.
Let's talk about the new do. When did we get it cut? Just
It
last
looks
week?
fantastic,
That looks
by the
great.
way.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. I did it 2 days before the reunion.
Oh, okay. So
Any
it was
particular
like
reason?
the
Just-
reunion ready.
I just wanted to change it up, do something different. Like, I don't know.
It's good. I like it.
Me too.
Thanks. I like to switch it up, you know.
Ro
It's
Ro.
very-
Thanks.
Oh.
Ro in our chat room says,
Ro.
Tom, you're the prettiest person on the cast, including the women.
Oh,
Aw.
thank you, Roro. I appreciate
She's a
that.
fan.
Yes.
So Ariana in your picture I thought was the best out of everyone tonight, and I was seeing even the group photo. I thought
Thank
you and
you.
Ariana laid across the table was the best. Can you get a hold of this photo yourself and blow it up Scheana style in the apartment? Because I think that would be perfect.
I want to, but I want to do like I kind of want it to be like funny in a way or something.
I mean, it is funny.
It
right?
is.
Like,
Because
we
of the
were-
pig roast. Can you explain that theme a little
We
bit?
were so confused
No,
about
that
this
thing
year's
was creepy
theme.
as hell.
Yeah, wait, what was the theme?
We were so confused.
It was like
It's medieval.
food and fun,
Times.
indulging in food. Sort of like
okay.
indulgent, sexy food. So
it
there
was
was-
sexy and unique
exactly.
in
Looked
the
like
restaurant.
last, like,
with a stuck pig.
Yeah.
that
That
what
pig
they're
was
called?
scary. I love that they threw the tea towel over the eyes to like
Oh,
hide
it
it.
wasn't any tea towel. It was the wedding invite
The
tea
wedding
towel,
invite tea
which
towel.
It
made
was
it
plastic, but
all
as
the
soon
better.
as you like stepped like this far away from it, it looked real.
Oh, I would have
Oh,
ran the
that's
other way.
frightening.
Someone said it looked haunted. Was that Schwartz?
Yeah,
It did, yeah.
I agree.
He put the
It looked-
towel over it.
He said, I think it's haunted, Bubba.
Yeah, I agree. I still think it is.
Now, we know that Tom and Katie obviously tied the knot. Do you think that they had any business getting married?
Oh wow.
Oh,
That's a
Whoa.
Deep dive from
We're going there, are we?
I think they did, and I definitely believe in them. But again, I just think that they could really use some talking to, talking to a psychologist or counselor or something, because they've been together for a long time, and obviously they've both grown a lot. But I feel like what happens is when you've been in a relationship for a long time, maybe you can relate to this, is that like when you had a certain way of handling situations, like even when I was with Kristen and even Kristen was with me, we would sometimes handle situations poorly, and I think both of us have learned from that and have applied that to our now relationships. And I think when you've been with somebody for a long time and you've maybe had some bad habits, that sometimes they die hard, and then there's that like resentment, people hang on to things. So I feel like, look, I believe in therapy for anyone, me, myself, anyone. I think it's always helpful to go talk to somebody, and I think that if they, if they do that and they continue to respect each other, which is really important. I never, that's something that I think realized with being with Ariana that I don't think I ever had in any other relationship, and that is that I have so much respect for Ariana, and she has so much for me. And it's not like being respectful or showing respect, but it's like actually deep down having it and not feeling like you're way smarter than the other person that you're with, like sometimes happens a lot of time. So, like we have such a, and I think that's actually really important when you have respect for the person that you're with. You don't go to the dark side with them. You don't call them fucking cunt or whatever the hell, or like a piece of shit loser and all that stuff. So because once you go to that point, it's really hard to come back from it. You know what I mean? It becomes easier to like say those things in arguments.
And I think you can see that Tom and Katie do love each other, and they obviously have the history, and you can see that they're emotionally attached. But then, whether it's the alcohol or what, something always manages to set them off.
I think that I think obviously with, like I said before, with being together with somebody for a long time, you have, there's sometimes resentment that builds up. But I think that they did come to a place before the wedding that I was really happy to see and worried that they wouldn't get to leading up to it, which was nice.
That's good.
Okay.
Is it concerning to you that they had such a bumpy road to the altar, and Scheana and Shay were kind of like smooth sailing, but their marriage has already ended?
Yes. Yeah. That freaks me out a little bit. I was just in disbelief when I heard that they were getting divorced. I was actually kind of like low key like angry at both of them.
You were such like a champion for Shay at his wedding. I remember the embroidery, like what do you call it? Not embroidery.
I picked out.
Monogram.
I helped him pick
Like you
out his
monogrammed
jacket,
it?
and he wanted to get tails initially, and I'm like, dude, tails, you have to, they're not gonna go with the vibe, because he wanted to wear high tops and kind of have his own flavor on a tux. But I'm like, dude, if you wear tails, you have to go high-waisted pleated pants.
Look at this knowledge.
Like it doesn't work other ways. And it's also more flattering if you're like a very slender guy, because it will, otherwise it adds weight to you.
Right, pleats are the devil.
And most of the time, tail jackets are double-breasted, so when they sit open, they go like this.
Okay.
So
it
they
makes you
literally
wider.
make you look like that.
A pair. Yeah.
I feel like I want a
something new.
I'm
Tom.
learning so much tonight.
Can you come raid my closet and give me advice?
I know. The boys are like a whole new world.
I want a Tom Sandoval in my life.
Dude, I've helped out so many friends. Trust
Stylist extraordinaire and model for 20 years. Thank you, Tom.
That's right.
Now, you briefly mentioned the reunion. How explosive was it?
It was really intense. It was really good. I mean, I apologize ahead of time because I did talk a lot. And I normally do, because people like fucking Jax never says anything. He just sits there. Jax just sits there. Schwartz will just sit there. Like, and I'm like, guys, like, and I even talked to them ahead of time. I'm like, dudes, because we group chat all the time, you know. I'm like, guys, if you agree with me on something or you agree with somebody else, please speak up. You know what I mean? Because obviously we're going to be dealing with, you know,
A lot.
yeah, we're going to be dealing with
The peanut gallery.
Chris and Katie and Stassi, like, together on pretty much everything.
The witches of WeHo, as they have branded themselves.
Yeah.
Where do you stand and where does Ariana stand with Kristen at the current moment?
We're cool. I mean, I think Ariana told me, because, like, I'm not as savvy on social media or whatever, like, but, you know, people tell me shit, but yeah, I think Kristen, I don't know, I heard that she was, like, saying stuff about me in press or something, or tweeting stuff about me, but whatever, I don't really care.
Andy Cohen asked Kristen when she was on Watch What Happens Live, I think it was last week, if you and Ariana were to get married right now, would you invite Kristen to your wedding? And she said, I don't know, that's on them. So if you and Ariana were to get married next week, would you invite Kristen to the wedding?
No.
If you were to marry Schwartz, would you invite Kristen to the wedding? I'm just the Watch What Happens Live. The Watch What Happens Live viewers really want you guys to get married. And
That's funny.
remember when you guys were on and the poll was like, who's the better match for Schwartz, Sandoval or Katie?
And who's Tom number 1 right now? That's
Oh yeah.
Is that always a title held by you?
I guess.
Yeah.
I was always Tom number 1 because I was here first.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
That
just,
makes sense.
I love
Yeah.
the t-shirts though.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a really
so
nice
genius.
gesture.
They were
Did
amazing.
you like that?
Yes.
Thank
With
you.
everybody's nicknames.
I know we're getting
Oh,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, the nicknames in New Orleans. I know we're close to wrapping up, but I just had one question. What's the status on the tattoo? The bacon A.
I went to one removal and yeah, it hurt like hell. I was down to go to more, but I kind of like how bad it is.
Okay.
It was like I tried to do something, I failed miserably. It's crooked and it's kind of sweet, but I like that it's funny, but not on purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It has personality. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get
and
it.
it has a good story.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think I might keep it at least for a little while.
Cool.
And on that note about ass tattoos, we're gonna have to wrap it up, unfortunately. We're out of time. But this was so fun. Thank you for joining us.
you so
We're
much
for joining us.
so looking forward to the wedding and the reunion. And where can everybody chat with you online one more time?
Tom Sandoval 1 on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Perfect.
Cool. Guys, it's Jay Ellis. I'm on Instagram at don't_be_jealous and Twitter at still_jealous.
And I am Matthew Evan Paine. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew E. Paine.
Jesse DAngelo here. You guys can find me everywhere at Jesse J. DAngelo.
And you guys can find me, Megan Stecher, on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at Megan Stecher. And let's chat this week. Okay, bye.
Thanks for
Thank
joining
you,
us.
Tom.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cool.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Just the tip.
Oh, you told it.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.